Jewish mothers are the brunt of jokes more than any other mothers in the world. And most of the people telling those jokes are their sons and daughters. Peter is talking with one Jewish mother's son who wrote a book called The Jewish Mothers Hall of Fame. Peter?
Thanks, Jill. In this book, you'll find the mother of Steven Spielberg, the mother of Eddie Fisher, the mother of Abby Hoffman. The author is Fred Bernstein. Fred, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Peter.
This is interesting to me. I read through it. I looked at it this morning. Let's take a picture of the book first, I guess. Abby Hoffman is in here along with some other people who are very... What was Abby Hoffman's mother like?
Well, you may remember that Abby spent 7 years on the lam in the 70s. During that time, his mother, Florence, sent him toothbrushes through secret underground couriers, along with notes reminding him that dental hygiene is important.
That sounds interesting, but there are a lot of
mother.
other people in here that are fun, too. Bob Dylan, Steven Spielberg. What about Spielberg's mother?
She's probably the funniest person I've ever met. She runs a kosher dairy restaurant in Beverly Hills.
That's right, I saw the picture in there.
I met her there, and I said to her, when Steven was growing up, did you know he was a genius? And she said, when Steven was growing up, I didn't know what he was. She said, I should have dragged him to a psychiatrist then and there never would have been an E.T.
Now, there are... Some of the mothers in this book are living in this area, right?
A few are, yeah.
And what, in Tamarack, you were mentioning?
Neil Sedaka's mother, Eleanor, lives in Tamarack.
Right.
Right. Robert Klein's mother lives in Tamarack. And I interviewed one mother in Miami Beach who has since died, unfortunately.
What about the beginning of this book? Now, you started it to be... It was going to be funny all the way through, but it's not necessarily funny.
Right. When I started the book, I thought it would be 25 funny interviews. I started with Steven Spielberg's mother, and she was a riot. But then I met other mothers who weren't necessarily funny, and the tone of the book changed, became much more serious.
We talked a little bit about Eddie Fisher's mother.
Right.
She blames everything on Elizabeth Taylor.
Everything, right. Whatever went wrong in Eddie Fisher's life, she blames on Elizabeth Taylor.
Still.
Still, right.
Did you get the idea from your mother?
Well, my mother was a great lady, and certainly a Jewish mother. But I have to say the idea didn't come from her. I was doing a story about Kiss, about Gene Simmons, for People magazine, and while I was interviewing Gene Simmons, he took me to visit his mother. And you don't imagine Gene Simmons. You remember the crazy white makeup?
Oh, sure.
You don't think of him as having a mother at all.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Much less a Jewish mother living outside New York, serving him bagels and lox, and bragging about her wonderful son, the rock star, who's made her fabulously happy. It was an amazing interview. I mean, I liked Gene's mother more than I liked Gene, and I like Gene, but his mother was just a great interview. I mean, she was fascinating. She's a Holocaust survivor who sacrificed a lot to raise her son, the rock star, and now devotes all her time and energy to helping promote his career. So that's where I got the idea.
Kind of typical, I guess, isn't it?
I think it is, yeah.
All right.
These mothers have done a lot for their kids.
Right. Well, Fred, thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much, Peter.
All right. Jill?
Sounds like they've all earned their places in the Hall of Fame.